chose to do my persuasive speech topic on the question, is growing crops a waste of water in the Central Valley? So some topics that I'm going to be covering are the question, is sacrificing our food for our water a good idea, especially when we're in need of both?
Carson, who's recording you?
Alyssa, right in the front. Also, I'm going to be covering my opinion, which is that growing crops is not a waste of water in the Central Valley, but I'll cover that later. And also, I'm going to be bringing up the fact that half of America relies on California's crop production, but we can't rely on America for needs of other water when we're running low, so I don't really see how that adds up, but I'll cover that later. So firstly, California found itself in this drought around 9 years ago, and it has been in this drought due to its vast size, lack of rainfall, and greenhouse gas emissions. And those three kind of go hand in hand. Greenhouse gases, that's just carbon dioxide emitted from running vehicles, factories, anything like that. And we know good old California has plenty of those to go around. But even when some of those categories are taken away, like even when we received a lot of rainfall last year, it doesn't make up for a 10-year dry spell of no rain and drought. So this comes from the article, Facing a Specter of Drought, California Farmers Are Told to Expect Little Water. Dan Kassler wrote, despite last winter's record rainfall, Californians must prepare for the potential to return to drought conditions. And this is basically showing that the government sees improvements to the problem, but knows there's no long-term fix as of yet, so they're doing what they can. And now, with the topic of the government being on this, I think it's important to remember that this is such a big issue, like the federal government versus Central Valley farmers, but it's not really that, because the government wants the same thing as the Central Valley farmers. They're not hoping that California runs out of water and struggles. If it was up to every member of the government, I'm sure they wouldn't be having this issue every day, going to work, having to argue about the same issue. And this is from David Murillo, the regional director of the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation. He stated that when asked about upcoming rainfall in California, he stated, "We have extremely low snowpack and anticipated runoff." So that's just another quote saying that the government can only do what they can with what they're given so far. My issue with this is, while the government is doing what they can for the problem in the state, I believe that there should be more of a push to make other states aware of what is going on, especially because they rely on us for our crop production. For over half of the nation's fruits, nuts, vegetables, they're relying on us for that, but we can't rely on any other states for incoming water when we're in need of it. That's just a little confusing to me. That's why I'm bringing this up. And another thing is, if the government can find ways to tunnel oil from Alaska to the United States, then there has to be other ways to funnel in water from different areas to get us, to help us with this problem. And for my conclusion, for the overall question, is growing crops a waste of water? My answer is no. Without California's crop production, half of the United States struggles. So the water is definitely much needed for the crops. It'd be extremely goofy to say that we can't use our water for our crops when half the nation is relying on us. So there is no use in California saving water if it is just going to cause a shortage of food, because no state could survive without one or the other. That's it.